Hi there, welcome back to part 2 of this Datsun engine rebuild. Again, sorry for cutting it short last time, but I just felt like it was going to get a bit too long and boring. Last time we got the bottom end assembled, and this time we're looking at putting the head on and other such shenanigans, and we'll see where that gets us into the 40-minute run time. And it might be running this time, it might be running in the next video, I don't know. I'm literally editing it as we speak. Thank you for watching, and enjoy. I have been through and blown out our bolt holes. You need to do that. Get a little thing called hydraulic action on the go. You get some liquid down in the bottom of these, those cylinder head bolts will act like a hydraulic ram, and that pressure's got nowhere to go, and you blow a hole in your block. So I've already sprayed them down. I'm gonna have to go and get my compressor, which makes a ridiculous amount of noise. Clear those out, locating dowels there and there, which are over on the car, resting on the scuttle, because I knew I'd lose them otherwise. I'm a fairly organised fella, but you just know, don't you? Thatch checked the cylinder head surface and he was very happy with it. So it hasn't had to be skimmed. I'm gonna leave well enough alone. If you don't have to take lumps off of your engine, don't. If the head's flat and there's no scoring, just leave it alone. All right, compressor time. We lost Aussie yesterday, man. Gutted. What? Oh, thanks. That would have sucked. I thought the head gasket was missing from the kit for a second, but we're good. We're all right. So he goes thusly. Now, we need to free him from the packaging. Right, we want to look at this head gasket, make sure there's no faults as far as the stamping or anything like that. Rule it all out now, because you're going to have to do all of this again if you don't. God, it's like trying to get my socks on in the morning. I'm normally a lot more out of breath, in fairness, because I'm having to bend over to reach my feet. As you can see, I'm not built for speed, I'm built for torque. I'm more of a tractor than a race car. Right, what you want to do is just lay your gasket on there and just have a nosy, see what's going on. I'm seeing some blocked bits here. Look like they haven't been quite punched through, but that might be intentional. There's nothing under those areas. Oil way there, oil way there. Crush ring on that guy there. That's all she wrote, guys. We're at number 1, Edwin and Will. Fire rings all okay? Yep. Some floor space cleared here. We're getting in a bit of a mess. I'm gonna have a tidy up in a little bit because I get really frustrated when I'm working around mess. As you can see, this gasket has a shitload of crush on it, which is great. Now this head has got some gravity in it, so I'm gonna make some horrible hem-harry noises off screen. 2. Okay, just want to get a couple of head bolts in. Stop him wandering off on us. Don't drop the bolts in, just feed them through. The only sequence of any kind that you're watching right now is simply me taking them out of the cardboard from the outside, working in, so that I know I ain't got to second guess where the correct hole is for that bolt. No, these are not stretch bolts, you can reuse them. These engines are a little strange in the way that their timing chain cover is designed. You have to put the head on loosely to fit the chain. That kind of makes sense, because obviously you can't put a timing chain over a camshaft that isn't there. However, what is odd about this, the cover constitutes part of the head gasket mating face. You can't fit it till the head's there. So this end of the head gasket, just flapping in the breeze right now. So once this is in, as you can see, with the camshaft removed, everything's closed off, right? And we've blown everything through. We're going to wipe this down, blast it clean, drive it towards the front of the engine, because there's an open hole here. It will just run down the front of the block. We won't contaminate the internals of the engine. We're not going to be blowing any gack down inside the head. I just feel it's a nicer way to do it, all right? Mellow out, leave me alone. Thanks. Cheers, mate. Thanks, mate. Bye. Now, naturally, if this was a restoration, everything would have been off and away. We'd have had the head gone through and everything, but this is a repair job. We do what is required to repair the engine. We are not recommissioning this engine. It is a repair, like garages used to do back in the day. I guarantee you, if this came in with a spun bearing in 75, you'd have been lucky if they'd have even took the head off, to be honest with you. Right, I've cleaned everything up. We're all good on that front. So now, the manual calls for me to tighten temporarily cylinder head bolts 1 and 2 to 14 foot-pounds. Why? Yeah, I'm doing as I'm told, mate. Nobody tells me nothing. 10, 11, 14. And for once, we don't have a range here. We have a, do it now. Feels like nothing, doesn't it? All right, time to install my
£900 camshaft.
Fast Road Cam 75A. It's what was in it. It's what was in it when it went bang. Obviously we're replacing like for like. I personally don't see the point in putting a Fast Road Cam and way too much carburetor on an otherwise bog standard car, but that's what was in it, that's the build. Oh, look at him. All right, okay. I get it. I'm smelling what they're stepping in here. Loads of assembly lubricant. We will put assembly lube on the cams as well, but not yet. I'll explain that in a minute. We need to do something to do with the lash and some other fun stuffs. There we go. I'm also going to take the opportunity to just missile some assembly lube in here. I don't want nobody grinding up nothing until the engine runs up, and then it can settle itself in at that point, but not a second before I'm ready for it to. Try not to ricochet this off of every bearing surface in there, because you'll damage it. Pick a bearing surface you can use as a rest stop, is how I always fit cams like this. Very similar to the V8 side of things. Rejig, take your time, breathe, all that stuff. This guy is breezing through here. This needs to turn completely freely, which it does. Whew. Oh yeah, wow, that's breezy. Doesn't suddenly bind up or anything like that. So the cam's not bent and our bearing caps are aligned. I left these alone on purpose. Trust me, you just don't want to. We've got a little locker plate that goes on. If you're anything like me, you would go in, how's the camshaft staying? It's got a locker plate at the front. But then again, you guys are probably a bit more intelligent than I am and went, it's got a locker plate at the front. I don't know. I can hear you shouting. Yes, it's a bomb site at the moment. We're nearly there. My goal is get the chain on, get the cover on, and then that'll do for today. And I'm gonna have a bloody good tidy up in here before I do anything tomorrow. I don't like working in a mess, but time's wasting. Tightened up our locking plate. There is a timing mark painted on to the back of the pulley and the lock plate, just there. That does look like TDC to me. Laser eyeball. I need a torque spec for this bolt. Camshaft's in. The book wins again. Right, camshaft sprocket bolt. 94 to 108 foot-pounds. Brutal. Okay, I'm gonna go and get my big torque wrench then. I'll be back in 20 minutes when I've wound this bad boy up. I might need one of you guys to pop my rotator cuff back in a second when I finish getting this up to where it needs to be, because this guy gets aggressive. Here we go. 19. Don't slip. We line him back up with the dot on the back of the sprocket. Now again, yes, there is provision. That is a vernier sprocket. We're not here to make this thing make 400 horsepower. We're here to repair it. That's being left where it is. We're working to reference of the previous timing marks. If we dick around with it and we we're in trouble, big trouble. Got a 36mm deep socket just to aid this along. Everybody seems quite happy. These are a bit of a tight fit, obviously, they gotta be. Just get your Woodruff keys lined up as well. Lovely. Helical drive, this runs our oil pump and distributor. Pretty sure there isn't a front and back to this bit. Nice. Crankshaft sprocket and distributor drive gear fit the oil thrower. Make sure the mating marks of the crankshaft sprocket face the front. We've got our timing chain to go in now. I did get some new guides, because obviously where this starved of oil, if the chain starved of oil, it would have damaged the guides. This will probably go again, but you can see what I mean. The chain definitely, we had a row with those guys. So brand new chain guide, very nice. That should be our chain. We're gonna put some assembly lubricant on the timing chain components. We're going to wait until we've installed them, just so that they don't end up with bits stuck to them. The last thing we want is grabbing a link on the chain and wrecking our shit. So, click, click. There's an elongated hole in this top bit, which says to me there might be some adjustment needed. I will look into that a little more. I want to make sure we don't f that up. We'll nip this bottom one up, just to hold everybody flush. We're going to run this one down, but we're not going to tighten it. Okay, now there's a caveat to this. Set the timing chain by aligning its mating marks with those of the crankshaft sprocket and the camshaft sprocket. So, that reference dot there, I presume, mates with the chain. Me. Ugh. No, no, no. Not links. I hate links. There are no mating marks on this timing chain, and I hate that, being honest with you. Really hate that. There are 42 chain links between the two mating marks of the timing chain. So what we're gonna have to do is get the nail varnish out, mark that, count 42 links. When it says 42 chain links, it means the pins, all right? So we count from this guy down yonder till we get to 42, and then we mark that as well. He is 1. All right, 1, 2, 3, lost count. Okay, as you can see, we've got 2 yellow dots there. That's the number of links between the 2 mating marks, and they don't line up. It's out on the crank. That looks like TDC to me, and also the paint mark there, I would say, looks like TDC. Trouble is, that's a paint mark. That's not a spec. That's some dude. So, what we do is we go until we line up. That is now 42 links from the mating mark on the crank sprocket to the mating mark on the cam sprocket. And funnily enough, if I'm looking straight down the engine now, there's a white paint mark on the back of our cam sprocket that lines up perfectly with the top bolt on the housing. I would say our exhaust valve is probably running a little more advanced than you would expect, but let's not forget this is a fast road cam that probably needs to be orientated slightly differently. That sprocket can only go on in one way. There's only one hole in it, there's only one pin in the camshaft, so we haven't installed anything incorrectly there. The vernier setup on the sprocket itself is at the neutral point, bang in the middle. It's neither retarded or advanced. We're going off of Datsun's guidelines here, 42 links from that mark to that mark down there. Sometimes you just gotta let faith take the wheel with stuff like that. Right, I hope you're looking forward to watching me swear a lot in a second, because now we need to put our chain together. And I hate this. I hate this. These never, ever want to cooperate. I'm gonna say it, worst part of the job so far. Of all the things that we're capable of doing nowadays, we haven't found a better way to ship timing chains to people. I'm gonna cheat. Out. Okay, there we go, right. One through. We're still locked in that side, that's good. Center link. Pushes on. Center link pushes on. Sorry, I really do get ornery doing these. And now we slide everything back, off, there we go. And then our outer link goes on, and we go for a cigarette, a little swear under our breath. Are you for real? Man, they ship those parts backwards from the factory. What a scumbag thing to do. Oh man, whoever built this chain, yeah, I'm doing New Balance dad thumbs down. Show you that I disapprove. So the thicker one goes in the middle. I knew that that was the case, but I took them off in a set order. What does that mean? That means you should always check. We all are only human. Push those guys together. Happy days. Still lined up, top and bottom. Now our outer link. Now the clip, my favorite bit. Strap in, guys, this will take you 40 to 50 minutes to lock this little clip in place. Or it'll go on really easy like that and you don't trust it as far as you can throw it. Great. All right, Tim Ing chain is together. What can I say? Ooh, I'm having a great time. Nope. Nope, the other thing. Time for the tensioner. So this is an oil powered, basically, chain tensioner. That goes open like that. That bolts like so. This is going to be a hectic laugh, isn't it? Like I say, we just want assembly lube around and about. It needs to be making itself known, essentially. You adjust the tensioner by moving this fella. Time now to double check our chain tension. So we want this not protruding at all, this guy, and we're nearly there, to be honest. We've only got half a mil, but I want to be belt and braces, and that's why this guy's slotted. So just got to crack that loose and give it a little tap. Okay, that's 0. No protrusion there at all. Lovely. Yep, that's great. You can push it out and it still returns back to 0, so happy. Excellent. Now then, new oil seal in the front cover. Did I clean the front cover? I may have to be back in a second. Clean off all of these surfaces, particularly this one, because it's where the head gasket goes. That's a very pretty casted, isn't it? Oil seal coming out. Oil seal coming out. Oil seal coming out. There she goes. Tactical reload on that. Wants to be flush all the way around, a little bit down there. Very nice. Even better. Sweet. Want to put a little bit of grease around there. This is it. This is the guts of the engine officially being finished at this point. So we need to make sure we are belt and braces with this guy. So we need a Gareth cat. We just want to use the tiniest little bit of sealant on the back face to help glue the gasket into position. And then we want to put sealant on the front cover. There is another spot that it says about. I think probably, looking at it, probably these upper corners between the head gasket and the front cover. Let's just have a look. If you're watching along at home thinking that this is a big job, it's a series of smaller jobs, and as long as you make sure you're ready for each of those smaller jobs, you'll be fine. Right, there is an oil way on the back of this cover, so we need to make absolutely certain that we don't block that. Cylinder head to the top of the cover, just there. Don't go into where the timing chain runs, obviously. You're not sealing any oil from there. Bottom corners definitely want doing, like so. Okay, you want to get this on your locating dowels, lock it up and just put a single bolt in, and then it can't twist and it can't fall off. He looks quite happy. That's him in the other side. We're not fully tightening anybody yet. Everything goes in first. Different size because Datsun. Yeah, like I say, you can just very quickly, if you do it the way I've just done that, you can very, very quickly see where everything goes. Okay, we just want to locate these guys. These are a twat to get in and out, by the way. You're just gonna have to deal with that, I'm afraid. Ratchet spanner for that. Go and get the water pump. I keep losing my Stanley knife blade and it's driving me nuts because you just know the next time I find it, it's gonna be stuck in the bottom of my foot. Water pump gasket is stuck down. Now we just, a little bit of sealant on the back. Again, don't go ape shit, just a bit. Why am I using clear sealant? Well, because otherwise it looks disgusting when you've got sealant extruding everywhere. We'll clean off the excess because we aren't animals. What we'll do is we'll fit the water pump the right way up. There you are. Okay. Walter pump is in. Again, we're going to try and get a bit of a star pattern on the go here. Yeah, these are cool. Like I say, we're not pigs. Clean off your excess sealant. Cool. Right, before I piss around with any more bits of the engine right now, we're on to fitting the crankshaft pulley. Once we've done the crank pulley, it's oil pump and align the distributor. Get them together. Then we're doing the rockers. We just want to check the lash on the rockers, make sure everybody's happy. I've got some replacement rocker arms, a couple of them look really grotty. So, I mean, they're all dirty, but they'll be cleaned. But what I'm saying is that some of them looked damaged. So we've got some fresh rocker arms that we need to pop in places. Head bolts, we're not far off at all. All right, first things first, let's get our crank pulley on. I'd like to make number 1 timing mark abundantly clear for when we run the engine in. Put a splotch on there like that. Make it nice and obvious. Right. Put some grease on this mating face, plenty of it, flood the cowling and all that. on with our pulley, on with our crank bolt. I put a couple of bolts in the other end of the crank where the flywheel's going to go, because we're going to need to lock this fella down. Right, I'd say that's done up. Head bolts. Tightening procedure is in 3 stages. First stage, 29 foot-pounds. Second stage, 43 foot-pounds. Third stage, 47 to 61 foot-pounds. Right, take your time with this. What I like to do is tighten it down, give it a few minutes, come back, just check. Because as you're squashing this down, the head gasket's gonna settle. I don't know, I just like making sure we're absolutely bang on. 29 foot-pounds, here we go. 7, should have bought a telly. Bring it up to torque smoothly as well. 9. Give that a minute, come back. Same again, same torque spec. You see that? See? It works, I'm telling you. Next step's 43 foot-pounds. Yeah, so that little extra check is worth doing. 1. And we go back around. All right, much better. I'm starting to get less movement in the head now as the gasket seats. Never hurts to check. Now, you might be asking yourself, why am I doing it like this? So, you don't have to, it's just the way I do it. But what I'm saying is, when I torque head bolts, I like to think the reason they're in a sequence is to make sure that the head goes down nice and flat. It can't do that if the middle 2 bolts have worked themselves loose because you've tightened the ones around them. So it's good to make sure that everything's being torqued smoothly and the head is being flattened into place, basically. It's good to make sure, I feel. What do I mean? Right, you do 1 and 2, especially with the first tightening. When you do 1 and 2, that's pulling the head down in the middle, right? You then tighten these guys down around it. You're spreading the crush load across the head and the head flattens out. But as the head sinks and it squashes the gasket, you may find the head actually droops and reduces the torque on these bolts. So it's good to make sure everybody is exactly where they should be while the gasket crushes down. That's my theory. You might not agree. It's the way I do it, all right? You don't have to do it if you don't want to do it that way. Up to you. Okay, we're going for nominal values again, 47 to 61. So let's say 50, say 55 plus a little, because I want to make sure this bitch seats. Right, I'm going to go for a cigarette. And then I'm going to come back. Something else I do need to do is just whip the plugs out now that we're at this point, because when we start fitting the cam gear, we don't want to be fighting compression right now. I'm going to let these soak in brake clean for a bit. They're not bad. They were basically new. But this has been delightful. I hope you've enjoyed the journey so far. Let me know if you have. Please let me know in the comments, because it's the first time doing a really long format video like this. So it would be nice to know if this kind of thing's any good. Probably not. I respect that it probably isn't, but hey ho. Smoke break. Come back, check the head torque. That's it, we're rolling at that point. Cam gear in, crazy. 6 months of solid build up and it goes together in a day, or thereabouts. Okay, rocker arms, man alive was this tedious. So what you want to do is put a little dab of grease in each cup on the rocker arm. That's the bit that pops over that ball end that you can make out on the cylinder head. You want to slacken off the lock nut and wind that ball end all the way down towards the cylinder head to set the lash as loose as possible. It'll just make it a bit easier to get it through. Ideally, you want to wind the cams away from you while you're doing this to give you a bit more clearance, and then pop them through, pop them on. Then you wind them back up and you can then adjust your lash. But I did this in 2 stages. I fitted all the rocker arms first and then I adjust the lash. This is really boring, so I'm time-lapsing this whole thing, but I'm showing it so you can see how it's done. Hope it helps. Any questions, let me know in the comments. Okay, setting valve lash is just about as tedious, so I time-lapse this too, but all you need to really take away from this situation is that you roll the camshafts around so that the cam lobe, the lumpy bit, is pointing directly up as far away from your rocker arm as physically possible, and then you set the exhaust valve to this setting that's on screen now, and you set your intake valve to this setting that's on screen now. The reason for the difference in that is that the exhaust valves run hotter, the valve stem will elongate slightly and close up the lash. So what you're aiming for basically is the correct lash through two different heat variations. Your inlet valve has nice cold fuel splashing past it, relatively speaking. Your exhaust valve has red hot exhaust gases splashing past it. So that's what the deal is with the difference in the tolerance. But basically, yeah, just roll your engine around, have fun with it. What I also did was popped some assembly lubricant on the camshaft and just a tiny bit of grease on the lash pads. I made sure that the camshaft itself was running true on the lash pad as well. There's a video that I will link in the description on YouTube that is far better for that than I could ever explain, because obviously I was at work and I needed to get this done. So I will put that in the description so that you can find out how to set the offset on your lash pad using shims, etc. But this camshaft and rocker arm set turned out to be absolutely right as rain. So I didn't need to do any of that, and I'm not going to waste you guys' time. This video is time-lapsed. It was about 45 minutes, so nobody needs it, especially me. Let's build this engine. Our valve lash is set. Everybody seems happy. This all looks a bit grim at the minute. It's fine. It's just I greased everything just to reduce the amount of contact we had. For anybody confused, this is how these clips go in. So I'll just demonstrate. Oh yeah, they like to tangle themselves up in a knot. So what you do, hook the ends onto these spring clips, like so. That gives it something to anchor to. And then you lift this guy into place. Just like that, except you don't slip and punch your phone, but you know, these things do happen. Oil pump, no sealant please. So the little bit, you'll notice this dog gear, this isn't square, it's actually over to one side. The small bit needs to be facing the front of the engine. Then we can get our torch, just shine it down and look at the underside of the Dizzy. So I've just lined the distributor up in the same orientation. Now we need to turn this. Don't force anything. And our Dizzy's locked in place. So the dogs have lined up. There we go. Oil pump installated. Rotor arms pointing at the white mark that someone's painted on the Dizzy. Just gonna screen these together. It's comparatively painless actually. I wish I'd done that last night now. I got into my own head about it. Well, I've got a ratchet here somewhere. This is just ridiculous to expect me not to. Ah, there it is. I see it, I see it. You may be wondering why these last couple of steps have seemed a little bit less detailed than the rest. Being honest with you, it's assembly. You're just putting it together. There's not really anything that I can tell you that you can't find in the manual specific to this. I mean, I've been building this with the manual. And honestly, the important bits come in next where we run the engine. The hard work was done assembling the bottom end, piston rings, all that sort of stuff. That's the most important thing, making sure everything's clearanced correctly and clean and pre-lubricated. After that, you're putting things together, bolting things down. We've done that. I didn't feel like making you guys stand there and watch me do valve lash for an hour. I hope you can appreciate that there needs to be a degree of artistic license with a video like this, or it's just going to be ridiculously boring. I mean, I've got a pretty good attention span. I can sit and watch long format videos for all day on a day off. I like to learn on days off if I can, and I will sit there and watch multiple long format videos, some fairly boring stuff. But even I would not want to stand there and watch somebody adjust valve lash. That's just tedious. No one wants to watch that. So next we're going to go through the running in procedure. I'm going to install I'll be honest with you, I'm trying to keep the car anonymous, as you know, and I don't want the pressure when this goes on that engine stand. I don't want the pressure of worrying about the camera. I'm going to fit the engine, and it will allow me then to give closer shots as far as putting the engine together, and then the process of starting the engine is ultimately why we're here. You guys want to see the engine run for the first time, having seen what I've done to build it. So I hope you can appreciate that. I'm going to brew on, stick some tunes on, probably a bit of RKL this time in the morning. Yeah, Riches to Rags by RKL. And yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Well, that sure was eventful, wasn't it? Hello, welcome back. How are you? I'll come round. We had some conversations. Some conversations were had. The engine is back in, as you can see. All the fluids are filled. We don't have any HT leads or spark plugs in it, because what I now want to do, if the battery eventually decides it's going to charge, is I'd like to crank over the engine with no plugs in it, because it takes the strain off the starter motor and it helps build oil pressure nice and quickly. Once we've done that, we'll put the plugs back in, we'll connect up the HT leads, we will go for a first start. As a direct result of what a nightmare this was, putting this back in, I am now absolutely bricking it, which is very annoying because I have built engines before. This is not my first rodeo. Nothing worse than having your confidence knocked late doors on a project, is there? I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Well, that inspection lamp is blindingly bright, so I love that you've got a little light on the in the engine bay. Come on, old girl, help me out. We're nearly there now. Right, I am going to give her a little bit of choke. I don't want to be cranking for too long. Right, I did push the choke back in then. I don't know what that was about. Cool your jets, literally. Okay, let's not do this. We want 1500 RPM. Oh. The odd little misfire is fine. Right, what's our rhythms now? We're running at about 12 to 1. Air fuel, so a little rich, which is good. Still got an air leak of some sort there. Let's check our oil pressure. Oil pressure is brilliant. Oil pressure is about 80. What you've just seen there is the guys going through my power cable again. I've just watched them do it. They were looking a bit uncertain and clearly they've killed the power to my building again. Right, I'm going to just nip everything up. It's just such a pain to get on the carburetor bolts as well. Really not the easiest thing to get to. Right, I'm going to check the AFR and the oil pressure again. Oil pressure is still excellent, it's charging. It's showing quite lean now, 16. I want to run this a little rich at the minute. Right, we're back into the 11s, which I think is a safe rate. I know it's 9:10 on a Sunday morning, I don't care. This is alcohol free and I deserve a celebration. Cheers, old girl. Oil pressure's bang in the middle and we're now up to temperature. That's great news. Starting to go a little lean again. This oil breather has always been like that. Ridiculous. I think advice to the owner would be that that needs to go and be plumbed in somewhere. Right, we've got a few little rattles, that's to be expected, the amount of stuff has been in and out, but... Whew! Thank God for that. See what our oil pressure is at idle. Now we're up to temp. A little below halfway. Still acceptable. It's just really slow to respond, that gauge, that's all. I can't hear any noises other than slightly tappety. I did that on purpose, I wanted the cam to bed in gently. Oh, loads of oil smashing around in there. That's been a long road. Wow. All right, moment of truth. Fuel pump. So far, so good. Such a choppy idle. It's got central locking. I couldn't leave you guys without some straight 6 noises. Let's let this lady past. Oh, too many cars here, this needs to go. So I hope this goes well. Yeah, it's got a real chop on that camshaft. Logan's filming for us today. So, way up.
Oh, bit bumpy.
Right. So far, so good. Oil pressure's great, temperature's great. Smooth, no hesitation. Yeah, that camshaft. Yeah, I'm just generally not that keen on the entire setup as far as the cam and the carbs. I think it's too much for an engine like this. But once it clears its lungs, it breathes well. The mirrors are next to useless, but that's not what we're here for. All right. That was 4,000 RPM, so still plenty to go. just gonna go a little further. We'll go around past Steve. But yeah, I mean, considering it's got too much carb and too much cam, really, I feel. Sure does pick up its skirt. I'll take it. Whew. That's really smoky in here, so I'm going to make this quick. Thank you very much for watching Skyrocket Automotive. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been informative or helpful or interesting, whatever it may be. I hope it's been fun. I'm going to go outside and get some fresh air. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to watch other videos, they're here. I'd love for you to subscribe. We do all kinds of interesting stuff on this channel, and it'd be great to have you along for the ride. We got there, didn't we? Now just to put the engine bay back together. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind.